Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
The cold weather certainly hasn't been helping the conditions on our streets, with snow falling on top of the ice that's already there in spots. Light snow has been falling in the Fargo-Moorhead area since this morning, although it did let up at times today. Still, drivers were slipping and sliding their way down area roads. According to Fargo Public Works, the recent weather's been making it tougher to get around because the snow has frozen to the streets in layers.
It took 13 hours. It was a strange event. It took a long time. So when you get that little bit of amounts in that long a period, eventually you have some compaction on the streets.
We're told this weekend the streets will be too frozen for the salt to melt it. Fargo Public Works will be on call over the holiday weekend in case the weather gets worse. If you are heading out of town this evening, let's find out what's happening with the weather. Justin?
And thank you, Andrea, and good evening, everybody. Yeah, the good news is the snow has dissipated for the most part, and we are just seeing mostly cloudy skies. Some snow showers still persist, now moving into the Grand Forks area. As you can see, just moving into town, just some light snow showers that might coat the road in some areas. Also, down toward the Ellendale area, we're seeing some light snow showers, but they're moving south out of the viewing area. So most of us are just going to see mostly cloudy skies as we go through this evening. Temperatures are seasonably cold, 15 in Fargo, mid-teens, Jamestown, Bemidji, Devil's Lake at 12, with the wind not really helping things, 10 to 15 miles per hour from the northwest, which is a cool flow. The wind should subside, and we'll see a clearing trend as we go through this evening. Temperatures staying near the 10-degree mark before falling through the single digits, a low temperature near 1 degree as we start off the day tomorrow. So we will have a check on how cold we think it is going to be as we make it through the weekend, and especially through next week. That's coming up later in the newscast.
Okay, thanks, Justin. AAA says these next 48 hours will be the busiest travel period of the season. It's expected that a record 107 million Americans will be on the move between tomorrow and January 1st, with more than 97 million on the roads and nearly 6.5 million flying. Today at Hector International Airport in North Fargo, people were milling around and the lines didn't appear to be too long. A warning tonight for drivers to be careful around snow plows after several crashes this week. On Wednesday, troopers responded to 3 crashes involving snow plows on Highway 2. And yesterday, there was a crash involving a snow plow near Williston. There were no injuries reported in any of the crashes. The North Dakota Highway Patrol and the North Dakota Department of Transportation are telling drivers to reduce their speed and double the normal following distance when following a snow plow. They also tell people not to drive through whiteouts or snow fog caused by crosswinds or because of snow drifts being plowed. Snowplow operators will pull over and stop when it's safe to allow traffic to pass. The Christmas rush comes as the TSA is testing a new security screening technology. It's designed to spot hidden explosives and suicide vests. Travelers can expect to see many changes in airport security, including new automated screening equipment. The goal is to speed up the screening process, and it's already in place at a few large airports. Passengers will also be asked to remove any devices larger than a cell phone from their carry-ons. AAA says the best time to travel during the holiday period is early morning or after the morning commute when the roads are less crowded. And as Chris Van Cleve tells us, traveling on the holiday itself is also an effective strategy. A trial is set for this spring for a man accused of beating a 13-month-old. Adam Sunby of Underwood, Minnesota, is facing charges of assault and malicious punishment of a child. Both are felonies. Those charges are the result of an incident about a year ago involving his girlfriend's little boy in Underwood, Minnesota. The child had been hospitalized in the Twin Cities and for a time was in critical condition. We don't know his medical condition today. Sunby's trial is scheduled for April 10th, but his next court appearance is in February. This week's Valley's Most Wanted is wanted for aggravated assault. You can see Seth Vogel's picture on your screen right now. You can call your local law enforcement if you have any information on him. To date, the Valley's Most Wanted has helped law enforcement capture more than 600 felons. Miss America CEO Sam Haskell is under fire after emails between Haskell and the Miss America organization board members were leaked to Huffington Post. The email exchanges classified former Miss America Mallory Hagan as fat and gross and speculated about her sexual history. Organization officials have launched an investigation into those allegations. President Trump signed the Republican tax plan into law with 3 days to spare before the Christmas deadline he promised. The president then took off for Florida, where he'll spend the holidays. But as Weijia Jiang reports from the White House, a lot of work awaits his return to Washington.
President Trump is kicking off his holiday break in Florida with a major accomplishment behind him.
This is basically what it is.
Signing a $1.5 trillion tax overhaul into law Friday morning at the White House.
Jobs are produced through companies and corporations, and you see that happening. Corporations are literally going wild over this, I think even beyond my expectations.
President Trump also signed a temporary spending bill to avoid a government shutdown through January 19th and to provide $4 billion for missile defense. He ran through a checklist of what he views as successes this year: cutting regulations, progress on defeating ISIS, and making strides in Afghanistan.
This has been a year of extraordinary accomplishment by any objective standard.
The GOP passed tax reform without a single vote from the Democrats. But for the new year, President Trump is pitching bipartisanship, starting with a $1 trillion infrastructure bill to fix America's roads and bridges.
We're going to have tremendous Democrat support on infrastructure, as you know. I could have started with infrastructure. I actually wanted to save the easy one for the one down the road. So we'll be having that done pretty quickly.
Also on the agenda for 2018, settling on a package to help those impacted by a crippling hurricane season and finding a compromise for DACA recipients who immigrated to this country illegally as children. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, the White House.
The White House plans to unveil the president's vision for a bipartisan infrastructure plan in early January. But Democrats say their Republican colleagues have excluded them from talks so far. The entire family can enjoy the sights of Christmas this weekend while staying toasty warm in the car. For the 19th year, the holiday lights in Lindenwood Park are lighting up your holiday. This year, there are nearly 80 colorful displays. It's $6 for each car, and all the proceeds benefit local charities supported by the FM Sertoma Club and Optimus International Club. The group says the more cars that visit means more support for the community.
Well, every year that we get more, we can do more for the community. So last year we had about 9,300, the year before about 10,000, 11,000. So we like to get to that 10,000 mark, so keep on coming out.
The display will be up through December 31st. Oprah is warning her social media followers about online imposters. How you can spot them too. Still ahead tonight.